Ukrona, by the way, in I don't know how you pronounce it actually. Ukronia. They've got a YouTube channel. You can check them out. There's pretty fantastic music, and you know, straight away, Jat. Ghost Pepper's like, why did you ban my Sona? Why?
They haven't even done it, have they?
Well,
he's just already cried about it.
His Sona's so bad now. Rage creeps more hit points than Sona. Seriously. So yeah, he's not a happy chappy. But the bans are coming in. It is going to be Moscow 5 versus IwantCookie. Yes, it is a change to the schedule. Yes, it was going to be Curse versus Eclipse yet. But you guys wanted to see Moscow 5, so we've switched it around with the French stream. And we are now covering Moscow 5 versus IwantCookie. And the bans already come in. So Oriana, Cho'Gath and Nunu banned out by Moscow 5. Karthus, Katarina and Lee Sin banned out by IwantCookie. And immediately Zillion's locked in by Alex Ich. Well, they're going to know what they're up against here, aren't they?
In the last game, Moscow 5 against MYM on the French stream played a Zillion Jax combo, which is exactly what we saw Curse just do to IwantCookies, so they should see it coming this time. How are they going to prepare for it is the real question, because they're the ones that actually banned Katarina out, so they're not going to do a Katarina versus Zillion lane again. I wonder if Shushei has any ideas of what he can pick up against Zillion.
Let's see what they do manage to pick up there. Is it going to be... Are they going to take Jax, I wonder? Are they going to take Jax away from Darien?
I mean, Youngbuck probably plays it, but the question is, Darien knows a fair bit about Jax as well, I'd assume.
Well, for as long as I've known Youngbuck, he's played Renekton.
Right.
That's the champion that I knew he played.
It is by far his main, and then it's kind of Vladimir, Riven after that. He plays a bit of Jax, but it is Renekton. He's a Renekton dude.
So Lux is going to be the champion. So Lux versus... not really.
We don't know that for sure, actually, because the Lux... We've seen enough support.
Yeah.
Lux. Yeah.
And it could also be the Zyra support as well. Gosu Pepper almost certainly will be the Zyra support, in fact. We saw how strong that was a really strong lane yesterday, actually. But, ooh, a Rengar. Now that's kind of on the same lines of Jax, isn't it? Leaping in.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be a jungle if I had to guess. I know Diamond Prox, right from the moment Rengar released, was on the Rengar train. He was on the free Elo Safari bus, as Savage would like to call it, but he really likes the way he ganks, he likes the way he plays. They just... It does fit their playstyle very well. I'm pretty sure you can actually put bombs on a stealth Rengar and have him leap in as the bomb explodes. I think you can do that. If that would be really scary if that's possible. And that's definitely a support Zyra, but I like that combo already coming out for Moscow 5.
So, Ezreal possibly going to get locked in. We saw Ice Fantasy playing it in the last match, so no reason to change, I guess. He did pretty well in lane, to be fair, but I wouldn't say it was overwhelming against Kraton.
It wasn't. Kraton played fairly defensively. They had the kill lane against the sustain lane, and the kill lane didn't win out. Janna is one of their most played supports, so Ezreal Janna would make the most sense. That would probably lock in Shushei to actually be the mid-Lux. I think that's okay against Zillion, in all honesty. It's more... He can actually outrange the bombs on Lux if he's trying to poke down. He won't... In order to trade, he doesn't actually have to take trade back, which is a pretty wise thing to do. Plus, he can shove equally as fast as Zillion without putting himself in harm's way. I do like Lux mid against Zillion. For Moscow 5 here, they're going to have their 80 carry, and most likely their top lane. The Jax is still available. They might not want to go with Jax to avoid being too all-in, but I still wouldn't be that surprised. Xin Zhao exists for Diamond Prox. The fact that he selected Udyr would tell me that that's the direction they're going, but I could be wrong. Udyr against Janna, in my experience, has been a suicidal pick. That's not what they're going to end up going with, and I'd expect them to do the Jax.
So, there's the Jax looking like it's coming in. Now, Ashe, that actually, this is Genja, something that he's played long time ago. Genja has, as far, you know, even back to the Empire days. The classic Empire was while he was playing Ashe. So it's a champion he does fall back on. We saw him, I think, did he play it in Season 2 finals? He definitely played it in the regionals. I'm not sure if he played it in the
I'm pretty sure he
finals.
didn't play it in the Season 2 finals. That was actually a champion that was completely devoid of being seen in the Season 2 finals, but it's clearly not that far off, because I'm sure Moscow 5 wants to go to Paris on November 11th, so they're not doing troll picks here.
No.
Maokai to round up the other side here for IwantCookies. It's a pretty good jungle choice, but I really actually like Moscow 5's composition. The only thing I expected them to do was Jax, because help me out here. I don't know if I've seen Darian play that much Aurelia.
Yes, he used to play it quite a lot.
Okay.
He's definitely played it a fair bit. Probably not in the most famous games, I guess, because generally it's been against Wicked. So he's kind of been either banned or Wicked's had it picked already.
Okay.
I mean, even speaking to Wicked while we were at the Season 2, he was all I want is Aurelia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't work. He didn't get it one game, I don't think, at all, did he? So, team comps, how are we gauging these two? I mean, this is some pretty long-range stuff from IwantCookie.
It is in a lot of ways. The thing with IwantCookies here is I'm wondering how they're going to fight. This is very much, it's very poke-oriented, I'd have to say. But the problem with that is that Moscow 5 can engage quite well. The Rengar can come in from pretty much anywhere, and the Ashar is a very good hard initiate. Whether the Janna ult would be enough to disengage after that, and whether the poke is even strong enough for IwantCookies, I'd have to say IwantCookies has to win these lanes fairly heavily if they want to be able to close out this game in a lot of ways. Just luckily they're not reliant on any reset champions against Zilean this time, but the way they dealt with Zilean and the way they kind of overcommitted or get caught in occasionally bad spots is even more dangerous against a comp that Moscow 5 has, because if you get caught slightly out of position against Zilean, Ashe, and even Rengar, they're going to chase you down and they will be able to finish you off. So it's going to be tricky navigating for IwantCookies, especially against a team, you know, as world-renowned as Moscow 5.
Yeah, so, I mean, they've both got dive buddies, I guess. You've got Darian on Aurelia, and of course Rengar could dive in there, so the Monsoon is going to be critical. You've got to assume. And of course, you know, Shen and Maokai are going to dive in together, but honestly, I don't think they really wanted. I mean, who would you dive on? I guess it'd be Gosu Pepper if anyone, or Genji if you could get close enough.
Right, and the thing with the dive buddy thing is to have a good pairing. Like sometimes you just want a tank, and sometimes you want a dive. The whole idea of dive buddies is that you can actually kill the target you get to. But I don't think that Maokai and Shen actually have enough damage together that if they dove onto Gosu Pepper or if they dove onto Genja, that they could actually wreak havoc. But when you compare that with Moscow 5, everyone's been two-shotted by Rengar, I'm sure, if they played on live a few times, and Aurelia can also sometimes solo dive through. So that's a dive pairing that actually works quite well, because that's going to suck everything back towards them since they have to deal with those two. But Maokai and Shen are more of disruption and more of a nuisance. They're more of a defensive tank line than an offensive tank line. So they're going to be trying to stop Diamond Prox and Darian from coming onto them rather than diving in together trying to kill Genja and Gosu Pepper, if I had to guess.
So let's have a quick look at the runes on, let's have a look at Rengar, actually, Diamond Prox.
Let's do it.
See what he does. You know, like you say, he's been playing it pretty heavily.
Right, so he's actually got a fairly complex rune page here. 4.5 physical damage, so 2 quints. He's got 1 armor quint as well as armor yellows. He's got attack speed reds, and then magic resist flat blues. So that's just a little different than your standard page. He's missing out on a bit of, what is he missing out on? He's not really anything. He just split up attack damage, armor a little bit. That his masteries are 921, very standard masteries. We got 12 seconds. Is there anything else unconventional in this game? Let's take out Shushei's Lux really fast.
Never going to get there in time.
No. Are you going to? No. I think you will.
No, it's
already. No, you didn't make it?
Already gone blank.
Okay. Well, he's got magic pen and ability power.
Oh, okay.
There you go. It's super standard. I want to see if he was doing anything unique, like a super 45 AP or anything, but he has some MR in there as well. So he's a little worried about bomb spam, but he should be keeping his distance, if I had to guess.
Standard, my thing never works on the load. Just doesn't use it at all. So
It'll
work on the last game probably of the quarterfinals or something, you know. Not to worry. This is
when you test it tomorrow morning, it'll work.
It did ironically work about 4 o'clock today when I tested it. But yeah, nevertheless, it's one of those spec mode games I tested it in, and standard, you know, Brand was playing AD, Sona was playing AD. It's just like, oh look, pretty standard ranked game going on here. Nothing to see. So if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting underway. It is Moscow 5 versus IwantCookie. Moscow 5 playing as the blue side on your screen right now, and IwantCookie playing as the red, of course. And honestly, how would you stack these level 1? Actually, I'd say they're probably fairly even because they've both got poke and stuns.
Yeah, they're pretty effective around the board. Young Buck would be able to get them with the flash taunt. They'd obviously have the pass-through route from Gosu Pepper if they decided to skill that. We haven't seen really any big level 1 engagements. Teams seem to hide all their creative stuff for the World Finals. A lot of it also didn't work out all that well. If anything, they just have grouped buff trading that ended up happening. And here we see Moscow 5 coming out super conservative, just playing the defensive setup, hoping to see anyone if they come through via scouting. They're pinging down on each other a little bit, but it doesn't look like Moscow 5 is going to do anything. IwantCookies as well, actually fairly defensive as well. If anything, they'll do a delayed invade onto maybe the Wraiths, but Shuk at least is just setting up saplings at his Wraiths, looking to take them quick.
Seeing if anyone's going to go for anything. It doesn't look like it. Full on defensive stat, like you say. I think if anything, they're going to try and go for the Wraiths. Yeah, and they're poking, they're trying to check out the... Obviously gives them the vision there, Lux does. Shushei, I never remember the name of that. Lucent Singularity, of course it is. We'll just call it the Lux E. But it does give vision in that bush, which is what he's checking for. And I guess he's going to maybe throw that towards the Wraith. Looking like he's going to try and go max. And he may be able to get it. Oh, he's only going to be able to peek that one. Yeah, and you can see Diamond Fox immediately trying to back them out of it. Yeah, it didn't have enough damage on it. It did catch it, but it didn't have the damage. So they all back off, and somebody's bought a ward there. I didn't see who it was. And Lux and Diamond and Shushei immediately have a little... Lux and Shushei? Alex each and Shushei have a bit of a trade-off.
There we go.
Very even between the two. But the pulls come straight out. The blue buff being picked up by Maokai. Nice Fantasy's disconnected. Oh, that's going to cause a problem. If he gets sent back to base, that's definitely going to give Genja a bit of an advantage on that bottom.
No, they're able to pause it, so he should be just fine. When he reconnects, he should be there pulling his blue buff. You can see as well Moscow 5 giving the red a pull for down proc. So Rengar with a red buff start. Wonder if he's going to try some kind of early gank. There's no wards down in the bottom lane quite yet. He might be able to pull off something sneaky, even though Diamond Prox isn't the jungler to usually do those gimmick level 2 ganks. He's usually the guy who just farms around and then just beats you with being stronger, or he invades your jungle for the early fights. He very rarely does the early ganks. Shuk, on the other hand, with having so much solo queue experience, I would actually expect him to be more likely to pull off or try an early game gank, especially if they notice that Gosu Pepper starts with boots once he gets to the lane, because they would know that there's only one potential ward on the map when they see everyone bought boots, and that would give a lot more freedom for a level 2 gank as we unpause the game here, getting ready to go.
So, as we do unpause, he is going to stick around, he's going to pick up that blue. I guess it's going to be given across to Maokai. Maokai almost certainly needs that at the start. Let's see whether Rengar does go anywhere. While we're just poking on that, let's take us through this top lane. Shen versus Aurelio. It's been an age-old battle.
Yeah, this is one we see actually fairly often. What's ended up happening in the last few matchups is Shen usually wins kind of level 1 through 4. Oh, and mid lane, there's a level 2 gank.
Alex Ich, and he may well get him down here. The exhaust is on. He's going to finish him off. It's Shuk that picks up the kill. So Alex Ich goes down, and he just came straight around from the blue buff. And I think they caught them off guard, actually. I don't think he was expecting that at level 2.
Yeah, and that was just... We talked about it during the pause. He's more likely to go for level 2 gank. They don't have the wards on the map. And I talked about it, but I wasn't watching for it. And then we ended up almost missing the kill mid lane. But that's going to be pretty big for them. Alex H level 1. Shuk level 3. No counter jungling going on. Shushei another early lead in his lane. He had this last game as well, but wasn't able to really turn it into much. Whether he can do that against Alex H is yet to be seen. Zilean, at least early on, is going to be pretty weak until he starts getting those double bombs coming in.
Look back towards that top lane since we before we got interrupted.
Yeah, so what we've seen in the last few matchups is Shen has been winning kind of 1 through 4, and then Aurelio will take over a bit up till around level 11, in which case Shen would start coming back at him. But now we see Diamond Prox up in the top lane as well. He's going to look to counter jungle, whereas Shoot looks to gank Alex again. And here he comes once again on Alex.
Back on towards Alex. Alex is almost certainly going to drop once again. Can he take down Shushei with it, though? The Ignite running. The bomb's going to go off. There's the bomb. The Ignite is going to stop ticking. And Shushei survives once again. 77 health. Isn't going to go back and buy, and this is really working out very nicely for Shuk here. He's going to come around to his red buff, and he's going to spot Darien straight away with that sapling. And Shuk was just hanging around, and Moscow 5 are not able to react to this one. They're going to pick up the race, but honestly, that's not a great deal compared to losing Alex twice in a row.
Yeah, let's just make sure the pause hasn't messed up our syncing at all.
Oh, yes.
Hop into live. I think you were a little behind, but everything's fine. Want to take a look at bottom lane, actually, because Alex has been getting destroyed in the top, and Shuk is roaming the map. There's been no wards for them, and here he's coming in for yet another gank.
Bottom lane, Genja's going to get caught out, and Genja will get dropped, and these ganks are working very well. Gosu Pepper going to go down, and that's a double kill for Ice Fantasy. And now they are 4-0 up. Oh, Gosu Pepper nearly caught Ice Fantasy with the passive there, and I don't think he was quite ready for that.
And this is a blitz
by
IwantCookies. Could very well get this dragon. They should actually be able to get it. That's non-suspecting. Rengar's not level 4. They just got the double kill bottom. And this is almost what happens. You start the game with no wards against a Maokai whose first gank succeeds, and he's just been snowballing. Every one of his ganks have pulled up. It's a 5-minute, 13-second dragon. And I actually just realized that they have clairvoyance. Yes, I haven't seen that in a while. Gosu Pepper.
Haven't seen that in a
I've been so trained not to look at summoner spells. Yeah.
And you know,
anyway, the clairvoyance.
You know, we can talk about Season 3 Masteries that changed the world. Season 2 clairvoyance got completely blitzed, and we just didn't see it.
It was gone. That's why we're both kind of just stunned there, stumbling over words with clairvoyance. But that could have been a reason. They're trying a very defensive lane in that case with Zyra and Ashe. And I guess they're using the tournament to try out a few things because clairvoyance still adds a lot of value, and that could have been why they felt safe starting the game with no wards, because they would have the clairvoyance to scout. But if you miss your CVs, then the ganks are still just as potent. And maybe since he hasn't ran it in a while, it's one of the reasons that all those ganks were crushing them. And here it comes again, but this time he did run through a ward, and he might not be able to reach on. Oh, there's the flash.
Twisted onto Genja, he just managed to catch him out. Genja's going to get dropped once again. He does finally get taken down. Ice Fantasy again. So that is 3 kills for Ice Fantasy. He's putting the damage on towards Gosu Pepper. And these ganks are just spectacular so far by Shuk. When it works out, it works out.
And that's the Maokai snowball sometimes. Early boots of mobility just makes it so even if you run through a ward, sometimes the lane cannot retreat in time. Diamond Prox trying to keep up a little bit. He is ahead in farm, but there's no way he's ahead in gold or in pressure. This is a 3,000 gold early advantage for IwantCookies, but this is going to be where Moscow 5's experience maybe comes into play. Still farming up. They're still going to build the right items. And you can see people on IwantCookies are building very offensive right now. Ice Fantasy rushed a BF sword. They're just amped home onto Shushei with that Doran's ring. So a lot of these teams, if they get ahead and they build nothing but offense, leave themselves open to dying early in fights or getting caught out of position, which would be Moscow 5's window to try to get back. Soon as Diamond Prox hits 6, I'd expect that first gank to be bottom lane onto Ezreal because they want to get that kill spree and they want to get bot lane back in the game.
Yeah, and Darien here been baited in very much by Shuk there, and Shuk comes around, gaps twisted advance, gets the knock-up, and now Youngbuck's on him. Taunt's going to be available in a second. He's just had it, used it a second ago. The cooldown will come up any moment now, and Youngbuck picks up the kill, very much baiting Darien in there, and that is 6-0 currently for IwantCookies versus Moscow 5. Moscow 5 1-0 up. IwantCookies, I think, are 2-0 down. So they really need to pick up a win here to try and keep themselves in this one. And what better place to do it than against Moscow 5?
For a really 6-0 start. If this was the other way around, I'd be saying Moscow 5 has already ran away with it. But we've seen IwantCookies come out ahead in the last game, and they were struggling a little bit, but they're coming out really strong, and unless Moscow 5 finds a way to
They might
shut
get
down
caught.
these Maokai ganks, they're going to be in trouble. Here's the fight at blue.
Alex Ich is going to get caught out here. He tries to go around for blue, and he's going to get dropped once again. This time he does have his ultimate available. Stan United used. They do get... Oh, he flashed away, and he may well have duked them just enough. No, he managed to land the exhaust. That's going to be Alex Ich going down. Twisted advance back up off cooldown, and Shushei picks up yet another kill. Blue buff, by the way, was actually stolen away, I believe. I think Rengar managed to get it. Tell a lie. Who has
Nope,
it?
I think it's still up.
Oh, then yeah, they haven't
Nope,
taken it at all.
They didn't
Yeah,
get it.
everybody backed off it.
So that's just another misstep there by Moscow 5. They're almost 4,000 gold down now. The CV not really helping them out that much. The Maokai ganks just destroying them. There's no way they can keep track of them. They're going to have to start warding more heavily. You look at Moscow 5.
Bottom lane,
No
Ice
wards on the
Fantasy
map, and-
manages
oh,
to
man.
pick up another kill. Ghost Pepper going down. Genja's going to get dropped as well. One more basic attack will be enough, and another double kill for Ice Fantasy. That BF sword paying dividends. He's 5-0-1 in the bottom lane.
Oh my, 9-0. What a statement game for IwantCookies to come out and, you know, say we may have lost 2 games, but we're going to try to beat Moscow 5 in a shutout. And we'll see, because right now it's 9-0. Alex Ich trying to get the blue buff from Diamond Procs. We need to turn something around. That's still a very glass cannony bottom lane with just the BF sword onto Ezreal. They need to find a way to shut that down, but Ashe doesn't do that much damage. The Zyra support with Clairvoyance doesn't offer that much threat.
Wow.
And they just destroyed Alex once again.
And that was Shuk again. I mean, I don't need to rewind it because I can see what happened, but Shushei picked up the blue buff. And, well, he had the blue buff anyway, but he would have taken it off Alex Ich, who just picked that blue buff up. So that's even more pain and strife for Moscow 5. This is really going horribly wrong for them in this game.
Yeah, Bloodthirster being completed in the bottom lane for Ice Fantasy. When you compare that to only 3 Doran's Blades from Genja, that's not even close, considering Ice Fantasy has 2 Doran's Blades of his own. You can just look almost a 6,000 gold advantage, and Moscow 5 hasn't been able to ward to shut down Maokai early on, but now that he's picked up 1 kill and 7 assists, has the do gold for 10 items, he's also picked up the Oracles at this point, so he's just going to continue to roam around, and they haven't had any answer for these ganks. How are they going to try to turn this one around? Almost 50% gold lead. The Dragon was also picked up at 5 minutes, so it's going to be coming up again right now. And especially if they get a gank here, they're just going to pick up another Dragon.
Oh, and that True Shot Barrage goes across. Ice Fantasy might get dropped by Genji. It might be the first kill of the game. No, because Janna comes in, gets the shield down, and now they're going to catch Genji out. And Genji's just going to get drowned out. And, well, there's no way he's going to escape this one. Dragon is back up. You can see Ice Fantasy baiting this one out, and he gets in and gets the Mystic Shot to steal off that kill. Very nicely done. 6-0-1, that Bloodthirster as well. You just see him life-stealing everything back.
And that's the early Bloodthirster rush. Still glass cannon, but he wasn't taken down. And could they get the second Dragon of the game by 12 minutes? Because this is normally when teams are taking their first Dragon. This is turning into an absolute rout for them. That's another Dragon. Moscow 5 doesn't have all that much damage. Even the one lane that's not doing that bad would be Darien in the top lane. He has 106 minion kills to Shen's 81, even though he did get that one death. But Alex has died 4 times. Bottom lane is getting obliterated. Diamond Procs is really yet to create any action in lane. He's been doing a lot of farming, but Shuk has been destroying him from a pressure perspective. And as long as Shushei keeps getting help from Shuk in the mid lane, the kills will keep rolling onto Alex because the Twisted Advance leads into Alex's whole combo. And now they've caught Diamond Procs out in the jungle. They might get his first kill on him.
Yeah, but I think
there
Shushei
goes
missed a lot of abilities there. Yeah, and there's Diamond Procs just stealthing away from that one. But ultimate used. He's going to have to reset. And, well, Genja very much well out of it at the moment in this bottom lane. 0-4 Genja. 0-2 Gosu Pepper. 0-4, like you say, on Alex in that middle. Big snowball tilt possibly coming on here from IwantCookie. And they're just going to start pushing on the turrets now. Can they try and drive an advantage? Shuk's looking like he wants to try and steal away the blue buff. Either the blue buff or maybe Darien. And you can see everybody starting to stack up towards that blue. Are they going to go and tower dive? Looking like they will. Darien senses it. He is off.
Darien's got to get out of there. Yeah, he saw them in the river with that ward. So he's just giving them the turret pretty much. Moscow 5 having to weather the storm here if it's at all possible. This is one of the biggest disadvantages I've almost ever seen them face early on into a game, especially in the last couple months. I know they do typically underperform in online tournaments and they more come out for LANs, but I did not expect a game like this.
So we are 14 minutes into this, 11-0, massive goal difference. 7,000.
Oh, bottom.
I completely missed it because it happened so damn quick. And Ice Fantasy picks off Gosu Pepper once again in that bottom lane. And they are just driving home every advantage they have here. They have got, oh, Diamond Prox might be able to leap on towards Ice Fantasy here. He has been kind of caught in his own, but remember, Stan United will certainly help out Ice Fantasy if it's required, and Youngbuck instead is just going to come around and cover them off. Remember, it is a top lane Shen, not a jungle Shen, so he's going to be much stronger and able to actually impede, certainly on Diamond Prox.
Oh, they might have a 5-man dive coming here. They got seen by the Oracles, though, so in turn, they might just take the turret.
They may well take, and this will be the first inner turret. You see Darian's continuing to push that top lane. Mid lane being pushed by Alex Hitch. They're giving up the inner turret here. Are they going to be able to exchange it? Are they going to be able to pick it up? No, Alex is going to get nowhere near taking that turret down, and nor is Darian. Darian may get that one down at a push, but honestly, IwantCookies are dominating here.
Almost 10,000. I mean, it's 9,000 gold here, but the Oracles, 12 kills to 0. Death cap completed by Shushei at 15 minutes. You can just see all the huge items coming out of Sunfire Cape rushed by Youngbuck, and that's a really good item to rush. So often you see teams end their build with the Sunfire Cape. In that case, the item's not good, but early on, when teams don't have magic resistance, that 40 damage per second that the Sunfire Cape grants you is actually huge. Anything that they can force, as they have been roaming around the map, they should take at this point. Even if they just grouped up 4 and had one-man split push, they could take turret after turret and keep extending this game. And now they're putting all 5 in the mid lane. Moscow 5 just having to concede that turret. No contention.
Well, I mean, they can't contest, certainly when Ezreal gets involved. 7-0-1. He's got that Bloodthirst, got the Zeal, got the double Dorans now, so he's even got the sustain and the tank. Or at least a little bit of health that you do get from those Dorans. And there you go, another turret going down. Arrow's gone in, Shoot might get dropped here. That would be an Oracle burn. He's going to try and survive himself. He does get taken down, but Darian may pay for that with his life. The taunt comes in from Youngbuck. There's going to be the Lux ultimate catching on towards Alex Hitch. Everybody else managed to avoid the damage, and a great route onto Ice Fantasy there from Ghosty Pepper, just keeping him at bay. But honestly, I'm not too sure if they can stop an inhibitor turret going down in 16 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they got the Oracles, which was good, and all of them for that had to get away with about 10% health. So they team fought extremely well, but they are just so disadvantaged in items and in gold. And this inhibitor, oh my goodness, Shushei.
Alex has had to use his ultimate already, but he has managed to just take down a 1. Lux manages to pick up the kill. Genji going down. Ice Fantasy's going to get another down. Takes down Ghosty Pepper. Ice Fantasy finally dropped. That's a big chunk of gold given across to Darian there. 8-1-2 managed to end that gold run. But honestly, oh, Alex Hitch sniped! Sniped by Shushei. Didn't react in time. And wow, completely picked off.
Oh man, he has just been an assassin. That's much safer pick than Katarina in mid lane, I have to say, for Shushei. He no longer has to go in to deal with it, and that was his answer. Maokai Lux for the Zillion lane, and they are destroying, even though the bottom lane has been crushing for them. I think most of their advantage this game has come from the pressure that Shu created mid. His first 2 ganks of the game that really got him going happened in the mid lane, and then once he picked up the boots of mobility, he was able to go bottom and get those Zyra Ashe ganks and snowball everything else. Obviously, maybe too much experimentation by Moscow 5. Maybe I shouldn't be writing them off since they are Moscow 5, but this game, when you're down 31 to 21k, you got to really push to get a comeback. And down an inhibitor as well, an incredibly fed Ezreal, an incredibly fed Lux, solid Shen, Maokai who's just been controlling. They're going to get some wards up here. They're going to sneak around Baron, try to clear things out, and they're going to probably start forcing around this area, because if they just get a Baron, they'd be able to push through to a victory.
Oh, and
Shushei just continuing powering down.
Darian getting caught out there, and he's had to back away. Ice Fantasy absolutely destroying people right now. He is so strong. And you can see he's nearly got that Phantom Dancer complete already. 18 minutes in. He's almost getting towards his end build, which is a scary, scary thought. Inhibitor down just outside 16 minutes, about 17 minutes in. And that's going to be another inner turret down. 7-1 in turrets. That's going to make it. All outer turrets outside of the base are down, as well as the inhibitor turret in the middle, which is really the key one, I guess you could say. Now we also see Young Buck taking a peek towards red, but he's been hawk shot, so they know he's there. He's going to find Darien, and he's going to get stunned out. Are they going to be able to trade back and forth? I think Darien is stronger in this one, and Young Buck, yeah, wisely so, backing away.
But at the Baron, they actually got seen by a ward walking through, so Moscow 5 knows they're on it, and they have been taken fairly low. Will they see that the ward actually was in that brush? No, they're going to continue to fall back. They could have taken that Baron if they would have properly swept with their oracles beforehand, but Moscow 5 good to push up and prevent that Baron. They might just take another Dragon and take this one slow, so to speak. 19 minutes, almost winning the game at this point, but the Baron not to be done.
Diamond Prox had to use his ulti there to back away from that one. He was caught out, nearly managed to get finished off, and that is going to be the Dragon picked up. And like you say, slow Dragon. It's the third Dragon of the game, 19.5 minutes into this game. The gold advantage right now is nearly, well, it's just over 11,000. That is a huge gap to 19 minutes into this game.
And the big thing here is they're actually going to be completing some of their aura items here, which is just going to make them even stronger. Frozen Heart getting completed by Shook. So if we thought Genja wasn't doing much damage before, let's wait until his attack speed is reduced by 20% from Maokai. It's going to apply to Rengar as well, going to hurt him when he tries to dive in. Yikes, this is real trouble for Moscow 5. You can see that Darian's trying to get his GA. He's the one who picked up the majority of the gold for Moscow 5. You can see he's at 6.7k, which is actually 1,400 ahead of the next closest, which is Genja. He got all those shutdown bonuses when they killed Shuk and Ice Fantasy early on. Well, not early on, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes ago. They're going to have to catch, if they want to come back, they're going to have to catch IwantCookies probably at the Baron. Maybe when they're trying to get the inhibitor refreshed, they're going to have to poke them down very well. And they really just have to get lucky in a lot of ways. They can't have a straight-up 5v5. They have to kill Ice Fantasy or hope that Shushei misses the majority of his skill shots, because if they don't do all of those things, they're probably going to lose the next fight.
Well, and Alex Idge just risked life and limb to get in and get that ward down. Didn't go for the blue. His senses told him not to. He's going back to put that ward back down, the place that just got cleared out. Goes straight back in there, puts it straight back down, but the ping goes down. They know he's just put it there, and you can see Shoot coming straight back down with that Oracle. They might try and gank him here. They might try and go for him. They could be able to get a kill here. Shoot's going to get caught out. He might have to use his flash out to get out of this one. The bomb is going to continue ticking. There's the Hawk shot, and he does back away from it. And the ward did survive, but while that's all happening, Young Buck, as you get with Shen, just completely free farming on the bottom lane.
And he's just going and going. He did have, you know, you look at the gold because of all the global objectives that he's taken. He was losing the lane a little bit to Darien in minion kills earlier, and he's still down about 50. But he's down in minions and he's down in kills, but he's still up in gold because of all the global objectives. But they're all jumping on him down bottom. I don't think he can get away from this.
No, but it doesn't matter because he's going to be getting Baron for his team while this is all happening. Oh, and he's flashed away, but he is going to get caught by that arrow. But as you can see, the rest of the team are taking down the Baron. Young Buck does get dropped, but there is a Baron kill. And that was very much picked up with ease, I guess you could say. And they're going to drive home and go towards the middle turret. Actually, the ping in the middle, because the inhibitor is back up. Are they going to go towards that, or are they going to try and catch Alex Idge? Alex is low on mana here. Actually flashed in there, does manage to get caught out, and wow, the ultimate did come in. Zillion ultimate used, so they backed off. And instead, Ice Fantasy caught out heavily. The turret might get the kill. No! Shielded just at the right time and used his heal. I think he's, yeah, he did. Someone healed him. I didn't see who it was. He managed to... Oh,
Bloodthirster healed him. He was auto-attacking the whole time.
Was it the Bloodthirster, or did he pop a blue, red? No, he didn't pop a red. It was just the Bloodthirster heal. Wow. He managed to just get some lifesteal back that quick. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, when you get those critical strikes, the lifesteal kicks in even heavier. And now that Shen is up, they could very easily just ult in and get this 5v4 going. Gosu Pepper being down. This could be the end for Moscow 5 in this game, because Baron buff team with a monumental gold advantage, huge item conversion, and a team that continually picks you off is very hard to combat, especially with how well they poke at the base with a blue buff Lux. If they try to engage on top of them They have the Maokai damage reduction and shield spam from Lux as well as Janna. This is very, very dangerous for Moscow 5. Trying to poke back at them, getting the Zara plants, and Darien just diving in. Janna actually a bit out of position.
A little bit out of position, but I think they're actually trying to bait them in there. I think they look like, judging by the position that Ice Fantasy was with Shushei, while this is all happening, of course, Unbeaten's back down that bottom, back farming along. And this is exactly what you kind of see your CLGs of the world doing. Split pushing, keeping it driving down. And instead, everybody's going to back off. The Baron buff half used, so they've got time to go back by. Which is exactly what they're going to do. Let's see what Shushei comes out with. Picks himself up, completes the Void Staff, picks up another Amplifying Tome and a Brilliance Pot, and returns back to the lane. And while that's all happening, Phantom Dancer and another Zeal coming out for Ezreal. Ooh.
So really just going for the quick end, looking to chase people down. He sees that not much armor has been accumulated onto Moscow 5 right now, so he's just trying to go a little bit more attack speed, a little bit more crit. The only guy who really has armor is Darien, but he figures other members of his team can deal with that. He's looking for the chase down kills, and he's pretty safe, almost building whatever he wants at this point. They're going to try to poke down this bottom turret next. There might be a bit of an extended siege here. Ice Fantasy going to pick up a red buff, so he will be delayed. They want to probably try to get another inhib down while this Baron is still going, because the longer that they have the inhibitor down and Moscow 5 gets to farm in their base, the more caught up they get, not necessarily in gold, but mainly in experience, which is where most of the advantage is here since they've been snowballing so hard. So they have to just make sure that they don't sit on their lead for too long, because then their percentage advantage is going to get lower and lower.
So the poke on, and it's looking like the top turret is going to be the target. Darien is trying to do his defensive duties, but slowly but surely the rest of the team are going to close in. You can even see UnbeatenCookies joining this time, which tells me they are going to go for the poke. Gosu Pepper getting completely caught. Got, I think it was the light binding. Oh, will he get caught? Yes, he does. True Shot Barrage caught out to him, so they're down to 4 and 5 already. Alex Inch is going to get dropped. Hansi uses Ezreal, his ultimate, sorry, but Ice Fantasy is just ripping Genja a new one right now. He does get taken down. Genja picks up the kill, manages to turn it, twisted advance on towards Diamond Procs, and honestly, there's not a lot of damage now coming out. Shushei's in trouble. Darien might be able to pick up another kill here. He's got Guardian Angel. He does take down him. Moscow 5 starting to hit back here. UnbeatenCookies trying to get away with this one. The bomb will go off. He's going to get dropped as well. And it's Alex Inch that picked up the kill, so they managed to react. But while it all happened, they did lose the turret. So it was a 3-for-1 exchange. And that one really coming right at the beginning for IwantCookies.
Did Moscow 5 just win a team fight against a Baron buff team that was 13,000 gold ahead of them?
I know.
Because I think they did. Like, that was Ice Fantasy just getting way ahead of himself and forgetting that he was really the team's only primary damage dealer at this point. Shen, with the Sunfire Cape Rush, didn't have the Triforce. The Lux ult and the Ezreal ult were burned before the fight to pick off the support Zyra. So really, without Ice Fantasy's sustained damage, it died down for them. And Moscow 5 really just extended the fight and controlled them, which was really, really impressive considering how far behind they were. Almost any other team, and the game would be over right now, I almost feel. Now, that's a bit of a wake-up call for IwantCookies. They've been destroying so far, but if they lose fights like that, they have to be careful not to give this one away.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, it's that classic case of, you know, once someone's been fed that much, and if he gets overconfident and dies quickly at the start, suddenly it's like, oh crap, we've got nothing left. We've got no damage to give out. Shushei obviously has the damage, but he's sitting on cooldowns half the time on Lux. That's his problem. Whereas Ice Fantasy, you know, picks up that Phantom Dancer and Zeal. He wants to be in there auto-attacking. He thought he just got overconfident. I think he hit the enchanted arrow in the face as well, which probably didn't help the occasion. But, you know, if he puts himself out there to be hit with it, it's his fault in the first place. But let's not take anything away from him. That was his only second death of the game. He's 10-2-3.
Yeah, he's been... His team and himself have been playing fantastic the whole time. But one of the things you see some other teams do when they get ahead is they build defensive itemization, so things like that can't happen in game ending team fights. Oh, they get a taunt.
Goes to Peppercorn, True Shot Barrage goes across and just drops him in seconds. And now the split targeting actually is Darien they're going for, trying to trigger off his Guardian Angel, shoots keeping Diamond Procs busy around the side. Alex Inch is trying to get away. Alex Inch of course will have his Zillion ultimate to try and keep himself alive. He doesn't want to have to use it. UnbeatenCookies going to try and get away with that bombs. Alex Inch is trying to turn it around, and Ice Fantasy caught out again. And now Diamond Prox picks him up. Shuke's in trouble now. That Oracle might go down. And, well, I'm not too sure whether Diamond Prox has got enough to go 1v1 with him. He needs Genja to come and help out. Genja's backed off, being the passive self that he is. But meanwhile, the inhibitor's being targeted around the left-hand side. Shushei move there or onto that one. Shuke has come back. Shuke's got Stand United from Youngbuck, and they are going to take a second inhibitor of the game. But honestly, again, Ice Fantasy got himself caught out there, Jack.
And that's one of the reasons that Moscow 5 likes Rengar so much. He pretty much always gets to the target he wants, and they're comboing that with the Ash Arrow. So their dive comp is actually kind of finally working. They're getting onto the primary damage dealer of IwantCookies and taking him out. The problem with this is, though, they did just lose both of their inhibitors, so if they want to come back in this game, it's going to be a really long time. Everyone going for Baron here, and actually, if Moscow 5 can contest this, they very well should, because the super creeps are not pushing their base yet. They would need to fight in the next 20 or 30 seconds if they want to ever be able to contest Baron.
Yeah, and that was dangerous stuff. Yeah, and there you go. Hawkshot goes across. They spot them. And IwantCookies were not too confident about that one because they had no wards down. They have caught out Alex. So Alex will get dropped very quickly. The Zyra ulti is going to do pop up. But honestly, Alex was completely out of position. I don't think his ultimate... Yes, his ultimate was available, but he didn't get a chance to use it.
Yeah, he just got taunted straight through, and they bursted him down very quickly. He was a little bit out of position. That's going to be a Baron. Fairly large death timer for Alex. This time, the next time the base gets dove, they want to have turrets to help them out in that fight. Ice Fantasy probably, hopefully going to build a couple defensive items here so that he doesn't get completely obliterated by Diamond Prox's dive. But aside from that, the Baron buff going to help them once again. This is going to be attempt number 2 for them to end the game when they eventually push in with this Baron buff.
And you'd expect it. And I don't recall seeing too many teams come back, if any, after 2 inhibitors do go down. It's a very, very hard comeback, unless it's been pretty much a complete back and forth crazy game, which you did see TSM Azubu Blaze. That's the one I'm thinking of, where TSM was coming back and then everything went down. So technically the game didn't get completed. That's the only time I remember ever seeing it. But have they got enough damage now? Have they got a tank enough? Are they capable of coming back? Have they got the items to do it, Jack?
I'm looking here, like, it's going to depend really on Ice Fantasy and whether they're able to take him down early. If they can kill Ice Fantasy at the very start of this fight, and Shushei's ultimate doesn't hit a whole bunch of targets, they might be able to take this one. But if IwantCookies is patient and they wait until both the super creeps hit the Nexus turrets and it's a 4v5, then they're going to win it pretty much hands down. And they're a brilliant Luxo.
Well, they've actually used the ultimate on towards Genja. Genja's trying to hit what he can, but honestly, there's not a great deal that's really getting the damage done. Diamond Prox is going to go down off the side. He gets dropped. Rengar's been dropped in Diamond Prox. Ice Fantasy now cleaning up. And honestly, that was all about Shushei. Caught them with the light binding. Caught them with the... whatever the hell the ultimate's called from Lux. You've changed the name that many times, I'm confused by it. Darian is going to come back. He's going to Guardian Angels. Eventually manages to survive him, but the Nexus will get taken down. And IwantCookies came strong there. 15k gold advantage, 21-7, 11-1 in turrets. Absolutely dominated Moscow 5.
That was very impressive by IwantCookies. The start of that game especially. They started out, how many was it? Like 13 unanswered kills before Moscow 5 got anything done. They took down 3 turrets. They got a dragon at 5 minutes. So much of that was just punishing Zillion very early on. Alex got ganked over and over again.